Hello, my dear students, how are you? I think all are well and you are passing your time very concisely. I am also, and we are all the teacher are passing our time very concisely. We are doing our class in colleges or schools and our online school. And first of all, I am going to introduce myself. I am Shahidul Islam, Assistant Professor of English, Dhaka Dokhin Multilateral High School and College, Gulabganj, Sylhet. My dear students, I am continuing my lecture on modifier, and today I am also continuing my lesson on modifiers. Before starting that, and you have to understand what is modifier. That modifier is just a word which adds some additional information, and it also identify as an adjective. And we have discussed it earlier classes. What is modifier, what kind of modifiers? We have learned two kinds of modifiers. First of all, pre-modifier and post-modifier. And today I am also going to introduce or teaching something here, post-modifier. What is post-modifier? That the post-modifier always uses after the head nouns, and how we can use post-modifier infinitives, appositive and prepositional phrases as post-modifier. I will cover this area today. First of all, can you tell me from where this infinitive has come? Yes, I think that the infinitive has come from the verb, and we can discuss or identify the verb as two kinds: finite verb and non-finite verb. Finite verb is a change according to the subject and tense, but non-finite verbs will not be changed according to the subject or tenses, And the non-finite, we can divide the non-finite verbs in three types. One is gerund, two is participle, and number three is infinitive. The earlier classes I have discussed gerund participles in detail, but now today I'm going to introduce the infinitive. What is infinitive? That first of all, the infinitive is such kind of infinitive verb. Is the base form of verb adding to in front of the verb. Just infinitive is adding to in front of a verb, adding to in front of a verb one. And you also know that it doesn't work as a main verb. It functions as an adjective, and it doesn't changes according to the subject or tense, Now I am going to introduce you what is infinitive, or I'm going to how we can use the infinitive. My dear students, now we will watch some examples. How can we use infinitive or infinitive phrase as pre-modifier? First of all, can you tell me what is infinitive? You think that I have discussed earlier. Infinitive, just a base form of a verb. The base form of a verb adding to in front of the verb of it. And when you use the infinitive verb, the two will be the part of a verb. It will not be as the part of a preposition. Now I will discuss you how can we use the infinitive or infinitive phrase as post-modifier. The earlier classes I have discussed about pre-modifier. Now we are going to discuss about post-modifier. First of all, I have given here some example. Look at the example here. Number A. He has come here. He has come here. Infinitive just to plus verb and verb one, and you can tell here what is infinitive and what is infinitive phrase. We will be clear and together how we can identify and how we can fill in with infinitive or fill in with the infinitive phrase. Okay, now he has come here, of course, to learn. If I use only he has come here to learn, it will be just infinitive. But if you use another words, it will be infinitive phrase. So what kind of words we can use here? He has come here to learn just English. You can use any kind of words here, then it will be identified as infinitive phrase. Number B, he needs, just it will be tell in your question paper to use infinitive or infinitive phrase as post modifier. So he needs dash in online class. Of course you will use here to, and of course to do, if I use do, it will not be correct here. Also he needs to pay attention. You can use here infinitive phrase. So he needs to pay attention in online classes, you know, and we have filled in the words, fill in with the words pay attention. Just it is not infinitive, just it is infinitive phrase. Without infinitive phrase you cannot complete this sentence, so we are going to use here. Number C, I want dash. You can use any kind of words or phrases ending with infinitive. I want to buy a car. Just to buy will be infinitive, and to buy a car or house, etc. you can use here, and it will be infinitive phrase. You know, just can you tell me what is phrase? A phrase is a group of words where you will not find any kind of subject systematically. Just it is a phrase. To buy a car or house. It is a group of words. There you will not find any kind of subject or verb systematically. Number D, he offered to, of course you will use here to, he offered to just offered to drive me. He offered to drive me at my office. So if you use only to drive, it will be infinitive, and if you use to drive me at my office, it will be infinitive phrase. Also it is a prepositional phrase. You can, when we discuss prepositional phrase, you can we will be clear on you. My dear students, I think you are clear on infinitive or infinitive phrase. If you are asked to be fill in the gaps with infinitive or infinitive phrase, you will just think that it is infinitive, any kind of verb adding to in front of. My dear students, now I am going to describe appositive. What is appositive? Appositive is just a noun phrase, you know, and it will just describe and clarify the other's noun. The two nouns will sit side by side. One noun will clarify other's noun. And in this sentence, you think that if you find the appositive will not affect any kind of meaning of the whole sentence, you know, and without appositive you can continue your sentence, but if you add this appositive, just you will add more information about the noun or pronoun. I think here I have given some example of appositive where you will be asked in your question paper. Here use appositive as post modifier. You think that appositive can be used in the beginning of at the beginning of a sentence, or in the middle, or at the end, you know. Now I have given here 3 examples. It will help you to make clear on appositive. What is appositive? In a word, I want to think that just appositive, you think that an identical reference of a person, identical reference. Just you think that I am Shahidul Islam, assistant professor of English. Shahidul Islam, my appositive is assistant professor of English, is working in a college. Shahidul Islam is working in a college. If you don't add assistant professor of English, the meaning will be correct. In this way, we are going to fill in some example here. Number A, Rajaul Amin got gold medal. You think that if you don't use here any appositive, the sentence is clear and sentence is perfect. But if you add some appositive here, what kind of appositive you can use here? Just you can use here principal of my college. Rajaul Amin, a famous cricketer, a famous footballer, and a famous singer. You can also hear just these words are appositive. I am using a word here, Rajaul Amin, principal of my college. Here you will give a comma. Rajaul Amin, principal of my college. You can use another appositive here also. Just it is using at the beginning of a sentence. At the beginning of a sentence. At the beginning of a sentence. Just beginning. Now another example I am giving here. The red car I bought from Ruhan. Here is Ruhan, the noun. Dash is very fast. Ruhan, just you will give identical reference of Ruhan here. I can think that a red car I bought from Ruhan, a salesman. A salesman indeed is very fast. Just it is the appositive of Ruhan. In the middle of the sentence, I have used here in the middle of a sentence. Number 3 and C. She answered a question asked by Musa. Here, this is the noun, head noun of Musa, and you will use an appositive here. What kind of appositive you can use? She answered a question asked by Musa, a student of my college. Just I am giving an identical reference of Musa, a student of my college. Just it is an appositive. My dear students, I think you are clear on appositive. Just you think that an identical reference, it will sit noun plus noun. It is one noun plus another noun. It is also a noun, and a Ruhan, and it is also a noun or noun phrase you can use here. And Rajaul Amin, and principal of my college. My dear students, I think you were clear on what is appositive. My dear students, you know what is preposition. Just here I will use prepositional phrase, and you think that the prepositional phrase is such kind of phrase, you know, it begins with a preposition and ends with noun, pronoun or modifier, etc., you know. And in your exam paper you will be filled with the prepositional phrase, you know. And prepositional phrase, here I have given here some example of prepositional phrase. How can we use the prepositional phrase as post modifier? It may come another option also, but you think that you will use the prepositional phrase as post modifier. Here I have given here some example, and we will fill up it, and it will be clear to you that what is prepositional phrase. Here, number 1, there is a man. There is a man. You will. I just think that prepositional phrase will start with preposition. Preposition Plus here you will get modifiers, noun, etc, etc. Here, so what kind of words we can use here? There is a man, just very simple, in my village. In my village, or in my house you can use. There is a man in my house. Just you know that it is preposition. In my village, in my house, in my room, etc, etc. Any kind of words you can use with adding any kind of preposition. Number 2, Ruhi is a brilliant student. Ruhi is a brilliant student. Any kind of words you can use here. Just the word will you start with a preposition. Ruhi is a brilliant student of the university. Ruhi is a brilliant student of my class, you know, of my college, of my school, etc, etc. Any kind of words you can use here. Just it will use a prepositional phrase, you know, and that we will fill in the example. Number 3, he lives in a house. He lives in a house. Just what kind of words you can use here? He lives in a house. Lives in a house near any kind of place you can use. Near the post office. He lives in a house near the post office, near the college, near the cemetery, etc, etc. You can use here. And just here you will find here the preposition near. And last and not least, I am going to finish. I am working hard. I am working hard. You are working hard to. I am working hard to make people happy. To make people happy. Okay, I'm working hard to make people happy. I'm working hard to make my students happy. I'm working hard to fulfill my dream. I'm working hard to fulfill my students' dream also. My dear students, here it is not so difficult as I think. I think that prepositional phrase is very easy to fill in the gaps. Yes, my dear students, I'm going to stop here. And today I have covered some topics: infinitive, appositive, and prepositional phrase. You think that infinitive just to plus verb, and prepositive is just an identical reference, I think, and prepositional phrase is just the phrase which start with the preposition. My dear students, I think you will be connected with the Select Divisional or any kind of online school, and I think you will be happy to get some information and stay at home and stay at our pages. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.